Oh my goodness. I've been on mute the whole time. Holy shit. Okay. So everything that I was saying was uh, last week we talked about the lesson was titled What is Branding? And so today we're going to be actually looking at the discussion, the overview, things like that on and answering any questions that you guys might have. So if you do have questions, then you can hop on the Zoom call. The links here inside of the Digital Foundation's post. And if you're too shy to hop on the call, no big deal. You can always comment with questions, and I can answer your questions. Uh, I have no plan for what's going to happen if no one shows up. I haven't really thought that far ahead. So let's hope someone shows up. But yeah, that's pretty much all I got. I guess I could just, tag everybody. Probably not the best use of time, but what the hell. Let's see, Abe. Nope. Abe. Boom. Mark. Camera. Oops. Tagging a whole bunch of people. Oh man, this is horrible. I'm just typing in two random numbers and seeing how many people I can tag in this short span of time. Ooh, Ryan Hunt. Awesome. So, Ryan Hunt has a question. How do you like Zoom with Facebook? It must be integration tools. So, can you actually explain what you mean by integration tools? And I'll answer the first question while you're doing that. So, Zoom with Facebook is really not too bad. There's a little bit of a lapse in between the time when you start the live and the time. The link is actually the first comment there, Ryan. So how do you link Zoom with Facebook? No, dude, it's actually a button. You click a button. No, it's already, there's a little button here. If I could share my screen and show you Zoom at the same time, you would see it. But there's a little button here. It's called More, and you click and it just says live stream on Facebook, live stream on YouTube. And if that button's not there, you got to go into your settings inside of Zoom and turn that on. But yeah, it's really simple. The only thing that I don't like, I'm going to answer your question anyway. The only thing that I don't like about it is that there's a lag between the time where I hit go live, the time where I type in my information, and the time where I hit the actual live button. There's some lag between there. And so I'm actually being shown, my face is being shown live, even though I haven't clicked that Facebook go live button. And so that's kind of annoying, but outside of that, it's not too bad. If that's the only problem I have, then I'm okay with that. But thanks for hopping in, dude. Do you have any other questions? Last week's topic was on branding, so that's kind of where we're going today, trying to fill up the pipeline today with some branding questions. So for a quick review, some of the things that we talked about was the brand packaging. Some brand packaging could be like a sign. I'm sorry, the physical assets of branding. So the physical assets of branding could be something like a sign outside your building. It could be, what's it called? The letterhead at the top of all of your documents could be a physical asset. You could have specific packaging so think Coca-Cola bottle that has specific packaging. And you could also have actual specific packaging that is, think like Amazon boxes and their bubble mailers, right? Everything with them is branded Amazon. Everything about them is, they have Amazon tape, right? They have printed boxes, they have printed mailers, and it's all branded Amazon. And so that type of stuff is your packaging for the most part. And so, like I mentioned last week, that's actually the stuff I don't do. I used to, but it just didn't get as much traction as I wanted to. So I actually got out of the graphics game completely. So I don't do any graphics anymore for anybody. So that's one aspect of the branding. Hey, hey, Royce. If you got any questions, man, hop on in. You can check the Zoom link. You can post some questions here. We'll get them answered. So another aspect of branding that was discussed last week is your brand message. You know, we actually went over the story brand framework and the whole process of, I guess, the importance of identifying your customers. And that customer avatar, as it's called in marketing, is your ideal customer. And so we did talk a bit about that last week as well, and how important that is for your business. And then we took that a step further, and we talked about how to actually take the StoryBrand framework and make it work for you, and the importance of basically selling yourself through story. And the whole premise of that is to tap into those pain points, tap into those problems that customers are having, and then from there provide the solution that you provide. And so the beautiful thing about that, and I also mentioned this last week, is that when you do that accurately through something like StoryBrand, you can actually take that and leverage that against all of your other stuff. So if you have the copy on your website, the copy is the marketing term for the text. So all of the text and words and how they're written and things like that, that's all the copy. And so you can take this message through StoryBrand and you can align it with the copy on your website. You say, okay, well, does this copy selling this service align with this StoryBrand framework designed message? And if the answer is no, rewrite your copy. And so that all ties into achieving consistency. So when you do reach that level of consistency, your business begins to sell for you. And it's a pretty gangster concept, because what it does is it puts you on a pedestal, so to speak, as if you're the only one with the solution. So when you follow this to the T and build it out honestly, that's kind of what happens. So outside of message, you have a lot of different imagery things, right? We went over a brand guide. That was pretty slick. We definitely went over the Marine Corps brand guide. I like that. Talking about logo, how it's supposed to be presented, the different types of fonts and their usage. We definitely covered different colors and their variations. So that was pretty awesome as well. There's just so much that goes into it. And that's why it's important to make sure that we define a baseline for our foundation of branding. And once we do that, then we have something to build upon, right? It's the same concept as building a house. You don't build the roof before you build the foundation. right? You don't build the roof before you build the walls, right? You don't build the stairs, or you don't build the second floor before you build the stairs, right? Well, that might not actually be true. You still have ladders, but still, that's not helpful. You don't build the second floor until you build the first floor, right? You can't build the first floor until you have the foundation. That's true. You can't build the foundation until you've leveled the ground. That's true. And so every bit of this kind of ties back to that construction baseline. And so, yeah. Hey, we got a visitor in today. Ryan Hunt has jumped in. Hey, Ryan, how's it going?
Hey, how's it going?
What's up with you, man?
Just checking out what you're doing, man.
Cool.
Getting your branding on.
Something like that.
Getting your
dude,
social strategy going.
Yeah, dude, there's a whole lot of stuff tied into it. That's for sure.
For sure.
Yeah,
it's an interesting topic.
Well, I mean, you mean the entire foundational concept as a whole, or just branding?
Yeah, no, it all is. But there's, like you said, there's a lot to it when it comes to, to it all. But branding, and as you're talking about today, branding and logos and, all of that stuff, and having consistency. It's tough sometimes. For sure.
It really is. And that's why we got to put in the work,
I don't want to hijack your show. So
nah, dude, that's what this is for.
I was just coming in here to check it out. So
Mondays is specifically to have a discussion, man.
Yeah, no, I like it. I like it. I'm all about it. I'm all about man. Trying to do improve branding and all those type of activities for sure.
Yeah, man. Yeah, and that's why I've been promoting this so much, is because it gets overlooked all the time. People get focused on one aspect of their business and they let all these other things go. And either that or they never knew about them to begin with. And so because of that, that's kind of how this whole thing stemmed from that.
Yeah, a couple of years ago, I helped some people with social media, but I also do it for a lot of my hustles, I guess, my side hustle. But one of my hobbies, which is a apparel brand called Mountain Up.
Nice.
Shameless plug, but there it is.
Hey, it's a good brand.
And I used to describe, it's so simple, but now it really isn't. There's so much more involved in it. But I would say, your website is kind of your center of gravity. And then you've got all these like moons out there, and that's Twitter. So, Facebook, Instagram. But that's kind of almost an old school thinking now, because there's more to it than all of that. There's other planets out there, and it's no longer just revolving around your website. It's revolving around a whole galaxy, a sun.
Well, the reality is that your website's like a galaxy. There's so many pieces. There's so many components. There's so many aspects. And actually, the whole premise of this foundational concept was designed to not include website for a reason. And the reason for that is because everything that we're doing here is applied to your website.
Yeah.
So if you take all of these concepts and all these different areas and apply it to your website, there's nothing more you need to do, really.
Yeah, makes sense. Makes sense to me.
Yeah, man.
Awesome. Well, I'm going to get back. I don't want to hijack you anymore.
Dude, you're the only one here, dude. If no one else hops in, I'm not staying.
All right,
I'm just running my suck now.
It happens. Trust me. Sometimes there's 100 people. Sometimes there's one. But you know what? Just remember, you're not filming for right now. You're filming for later when somebody happens to stumble on their schedule. So,
well, that's
all right,
that's
man.
the way
Keep it up. Keep up the fire.
All right, man. Take it easy.
Yeah, take good care.
All right, guys. That was Ryan Hunt out of Chicago. How awesome is that? Awesome of him to stop by for a moment. If anyone else is out there checking this out, you guys can hop on the call. The Zoom link is the first comment in this thread. So anyone can hop in as long as I'm live. We're doing this. So getting back to what we were talking about before was branding, and we talked about how shit. I don't even remember what the last thing I said was. So let's see. We talked about the message, the audience. We talked about how we did talk about story brand again. Yeah. Oh yeah, achieving that level of consistency. So I was listening to a podcast the other day, and the podcast involves millionaires, people who make a shit ton of money are on this podcast. And they were asked, I don't remember what podcast it was because I listened to a shit ton of them. So don't ask because I don't remember. But the question was, what's the number one thing that led to your success? And one of these guys said consistency. And it turns out that consistency is one of the biggest proponents of success. And when we circle back and apply that to our branding, we achieve that level of consistency. And it's not just about branding, it's about the entire package, the entire foundational pillars, the 6 pillars of foundation. That's what this whole group's for. Which has an added benefit or an added bonus for a few other areas, which once we get through the bulk of the content, we're going to look at applying that to your website. But I'm not even going to talk about websites until we get through most of it, because doing these other areas and doing these other things are so much more important. So we can look at your website later, so to speak. But yeah, I'm here. Guess I'll stick around for another 5 minutes or so. If no one hops in, then I guess I'll hop off here. But if you guys are out there and you guys are watching, looks like nobody's watching right now. Great. Then I guess it is what it is, you know. Let's see if we can tag a few more people. Let's see. I'm just going to start typing 2 random letters. 2 random letters. Gary. Oh, nice. Got Randall, Gary. There we go. Got to the B's. See if we can pull in some people. The goal is to create a discussion. That's what my goal is right now. To have people generating discussions, have people talking. That's what I'm trying to do. Let's see. Let's try DE. Just trying to pull in as many people as I can. There we go. Let's see. I'm just tagging a shit ton of people right now. That's all. Unfortunately, there's not a mass production way to do this that I've found. So, not unless I go back and edit the actual video. So that's why I'm trying to type everything in. Hey, who just hopped on the video here? Who is that? I can't see I wish it would tell me who is there. But hey, if you're watching this now, you can check out the Zoom link and you can hop in the call. We can talk about some branding. Boom. That's the idea. Bring people in, bring people together, and keep the conversation going. So, hey, what's up, Jesse? Been a while since, like, high school. Yeah, dude. So today we're talking about branding, which is a follow-up discussion from last week's lesson of titled "What is Branding?" And that was just a quick overview of what branding is, just kind of establishing a baseline. And so today is the follow-up call and discussion. So anyone can hop on the Zoom link. Hey, thanks, man. Jesse says, love the content. Hey, brother. I'm doing what I can, over the past few months, I've discovered that a lot of people are not aware of this stuff. And so a lot of this stuff is stuff that I've picked up over the years. And with me being in the digital space, this is stuff that is common knowledge. But for a lot of people out there who are not in the same industry as me, it's not common knowledge. And so that's what I'm trying to do, is I'm trying to educate. And that's the whole premise of this group. If you look at the group there, the 6 pillars of foundation, that's what we're promoting. So if you got any specific questions, dude, you can post them in the comments. You can hop on the Zoom call. We can chit chat and what's up. It really doesn't matter, dude. However you want to relay your questions, we will deal with it. I'm just trying to tag some people to keep the conversation going, but it's kind of where I'm at. So we definitely went over a lot of things before you showed up, which we're already 30 minutes into it. So are there any specific things that you have questions on for branding, Jesse? And while let's see if we got any other things. Hey, real quick, I like this hat. I got it from Southpaw. They make hats. So they got my logo put right in here, which ties back to my branding for myself. Ding. But it's actually a really good hat, so it makes me love it even more. One of the areas that probably need to look at, there's one aspect of branding that I find really fascinating, and that's the color theory. For those of you who don't know, the concept of color theory is that colors have emotions. Kenneth says most effective route: physical, digital, wearable, social. Can you elaborate on that? What you mean there? Are you asking what's the most effective route for branding, or what's going on there? So the color theory, there's actually emotions tied to colors. Actually, Tamara Collins told me about this a couple of years ago, and I found it quite fascinating. Okay, so Kenneth, you're asking about the most effective route to establish branding for physical. I guess that's your physical assets, your digital assets, wearable, so social stuff, and your social media areas, like all of your different profiles and stuff. So if you got the cash, hire somebody. Realistically, that's the best route. You want to hire somebody who can do all of that, because anybody can make a logo, right? Like you could, if you really don't got the cash, you can go to Fiverr, spend 20, $50, get a logo, and you can turn that into your digital assets, your social media. You can put your logo on your website, you can put your logos on social media. You can take those logos and throw them in something like Canva and make some images, which also ties into your social media. You can talk with, link up with some a print-on-demand apparel company, POD, and you can get some wearable stuff. Like this hat is made by Southpaw. There's a team in the group here. I'll go ahead and tag them. So JD is not in the group. Motherfucker. Okay. Ginger and David does PODA apparel. So you can chat with them. I actually was at their house almost a month ago. Time flies. I actually got to be at their house and see their operation in person. It's pretty legit. So that's an avenue. There's also other places like Printify and Printful and things like that. Teespring. But if we're talking veteran stuff, then you can check with Ginger and David. They can put you something together pretty slick. And to top it off, David does graphics. So if you're looking for something custom made, David can do that as well. I've seen some of their stuff that got denied by clients, and it's phenomenal. So definitely check that out for sure. So that covers the wearable. For the physical stuff, when you're looking at like signs and packaging and stuff like that, you really need to make sure you contact a print designer and work with them through that, because print design is totally different from web design. And the reason for that is because web design has this new concept called responsiveness. It's all about being relative. Nothing is predefined anymore. And so on the web, I could put a width of an asset. So let's say this is my big ass button. I could say the width of this button is going to be, let's say 25%, right? And so as the browser changes, the actual width of this changes to get smaller, but it's still 25% in relation to the whole browser. And that's a big difference between print and web, because in print, everything is defined. You have an exact size on your paper. You have an exact size on your logo. You have an exact size on everything. And that's the biggest difference between the physical aspect of branding, the physical assets aspect of branding, because it's not relative. It's really defined, very defined. You can check with a print designer is going to know people who can print your stuff, and that's why I say talk to them, because the print designer is going to know somebody who can make your labels. So if you have a soda bottle or a drink bottle and you need a label made for it, they're going to know somebody to talk to. If you need, let's say you're going to sell a new energy drink and you want it to be a custom can like Monster or Rockstar, then they're going to know, or they're going to have more insight to who can produce that. If you're looking at having custom packaging like Amazon does, you want to have a printed box, you want to have printed mailers that you can send out, you want to have your own custom tape. They're going to have better people to be able to do that as well. There are some companies that I looked at that did short, small runs whenever I had my product-based business, and excuse me, and they did well, but I couldn't get the volume that I needed to get the price where I wanted it. So talking to some of these print designers might actually get you to that place where you want to be. So does that answer your question, Kenneth? I hope you're still online. Shit. I don't know. I actually can't see who's watching right now either, so I have no idea. But I hope that answers your question, Kenneth. And if it doesn't, just throw in another comment with a new question or clarify, and we'll go from there. So we got T-minus 22 minutes left in this discussion. If anyone out there has any other comments, any questions, throw them down. You know, that's kind of what I'm here for. The purpose of this right now is to be your sounding board, to be the place where you can throw your ideas up against me, and I can tell you if they're shit. I can tell you if they're good. I can tell you how to make them better, because that's that's exactly what I do. Right. And I'm not going to lie, I charge a shit ton of money to do that. But here in this group, the concepts of stuff that I'm presenting here are so important. I'm really not concerned with it. Right. Like if I onboarded a client and I was doing all of this digital foundational stuff with them, I'd easily charge 10K. Easily. Because it's going to take a whole lot more than that. Because then we also have to tie in their website, which that alone is probably another 10K on top of that. So I'm looking at like a 40, 50K project to go through everything for a decent sized company. So for a company that makes, I don't know, 250 to $500,000 a year, you're looking at 40 to 50K just to do all this stuff with them. So I don't know nobody around here that's got that kind of money. So I don't really, I don't worry about it. Looks like we got a visitor. Nice. We got Lane on the line, waiting on his audio to connect. And then once he does, he will be able to chat with us. Looks like Lane is driving and still not connected. Holy smokes. Hey, dude, can you hear me?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, it's a little choppy, but we got you.
Driving home from work.
No worries, man. Just don't crash. That'd be bad to see right now. So, what brings you to the conversation, man?
Well, I always miss your call, so I thought I'd jump on for a minute.
Cool, man. Yeah, dude, I'm trying to keep these a little more regular.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you. Loud and clear.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Right now it's every Monday, so we'll see how it plays out. We might have to shift it left or right or whatever, but it's kind of the starting point. That's our baseline. So that's where we're at.
Awesome.
Yeah, man.
I got a question for you.
Send it.
So I have a ranch, and we are going to be getting a new computer, a new desktop.
Okay.
So we can get into building our website and stuff.
Got it.
What kind would you recommend? I mean, we've been looking like Alienware gaming computers and stuff.
Ooh. You trying to rape your wallet, huh?
We just want something that's going to work and not have to worry about it.
Here's the thing, man. So are you going to have any type of graphics software on your computer? Are you going to have like the Adobe package or anything like that?
Yeah, we want to get into Adobe, Photoshop, video editing,
Got it.
design.
Okay. So this is where the big difference is at. So if you were just talking about your website, you could do every bit of that on the internet and not need a fancy computer. You could get a Chromebook for $200 and achieve that, right? But because you're looking to get the actual software for Adobe, that's where you're going to need a higher tiered computer. And I actually was looking at gaming computers myself whenever before I got an iMac right now, and I freaking love it. But the one computer I was looking at, Walmart had them everywhere. Everywhere I went, I saw them in Walmart. It was the HP Omen. They had that Omen, yeah, and they had that, and it looked slick as fuck. But I almost got it too because they had it on sale for like $800 for the desktop, and I was like, if I only had $800, this would be mine. So
that's the one that had we just saw one a couple weeks ago. It was I think it was a gaming computer that Walmart had.
Yeah, it's like a crazy looking gaming computer.
Yeah, it had the clear side and like freaking lights and shit inside.
Yeah, that's probably the same one. Yeah.
Yeah, we were looking at that, walk by, we're like, holy crap, that is cool.
Yeah, dude, it's freaking amazing is what it is. So the difference between the computers though is that you got to look at your RAM, and you got to look at your RAM. So how big is your memory? how fast does your memory process information? And the other side of that is your graphics card.
Mhm.
So if you buy a computer, you're going to need at least 16 gigabytes of RAM at a minimum to run the software at a decent speed. So that's part one. Part two is the graphics card. If you buy a computer that has 16 or 32 gigabytes of RAM, but doesn't have a graphics card, you're still going to have to go to like Best Buy or something and pick one up.
Okay.
There's a company, it's like NVIDIA or something like that.
Yep.
That makes the graphics card. They got a really awesome one for like $400.
That's what I was thinking of that, because I have buddies that build
Yeah.
computer stuff too, and they're always talking about NVIDIA. Yeah, they use that when they build gaming computers.
Exactly. And so realistically, dude, if you're looking at custom building a computer, so getting $2,000 worth of quality for like $800, you really should talk to those guys who build computers.
Mhm.
There's actually a couple of guys in the tribe who do that as well, so you can check with them. But
Okay.
I know for a fact that you can build an amazing computer for a whole lot less than what you would spend just buying a brand.
Right.
So that's the biggest difference.
So we were looking at what was it, i5, i8 processors?
Okay.
Yeah, something like that. And I told my wife, because I mentioned, just getting like an Alienware, because I mean, gaming computer, it'll
It's going to
handle.
come standard with everything you need. Yeah.
Right. That's why I say it's already built and decked out to handle any graphics or anything that we'd ever need for it.
Right.
So, I mean, we're not. We probably won't get heavy into it. I mean, if we have the the availability to, I mean, you never know, we might.
Honestly,
But
dude, you're like, what kind of stuff are you trying to do specifically?
I'm not for sure. My wife's gonna be like doing all that stuff. But like we
Honestly, man, if you don't know what you're going to do and you don't know what you're going to use it for, then it might not be best to even invest into that until you know what you're going to do. And the reason I say that is because just building the website part, you can do that from a Chromebook, right? And if you're looking at editing images, you can do the same thing from Canva. So canva.com, it's image editing website. And if you don't have any videos to do right now, then you don't need to invest that much into it.
Okay.
So you don't want to overexert yourself.
Right.
You don't want to spend more because there might be the hope of X. Don't do
Right.
that shit. Just buy what you need now. And if you get to a point where that's not good enough and you've got to scale up, then scale up. But one of the things that I've read quite a bit over the years is that businesses try to scale too fast. They don't work it step by step. They try to jump the whole floor. And if you have no idea what you're going to use this computer for, other than we might do some gangster shit, then it might not be
Right.
best to actually invest that much into it. But see, on the flip side of things, that's my take. At the
Right.
same time, if you really think there's a potential for you to really get that far, it might be better for you to just invest in something like an iMac that has that software built into it and the graphics card built into it to basically level up your life, so to speak.
Okay.
Because iMacs come with software called iMovie, which you can use for editing movies.
Okay.
It comes with, actually, I'm on my Mac now, so I'm looking. It comes with Keynote, which is your PowerPoint software. It comes with Numbers, which is your spreadsheet software. It's got email stuff. It's got a Word document stuff. It has photos and a photo booth. So photo booth's actually pretty cool. Not gonna lie, I used that shit when I was drinking quite a bit back in 2000, mid 2000s. So it works. But I mean, if that's kind of the level at which you're looking at, there's not too much more of that you need. I'm looking here. Yeah, dude, it looks like most of what you're gonna do is just be online and using online tools to do most of that.
Okay.
So I'm sure you can find an online video editor somewhere. If that's really, if it comes down to crunching numbers, like that's the route you could take.
Yeah, because we refinanced our house.
Okay.
And we bought an estate house, part of an estate sale.
Uh-huh.
So we got it for, I mean,
Dirt
it was
cheap.
about $40,000 less than what it was valued at.
Nice.
We updated plumbing, updated electrical, updated a bunch of stuff, kitchen, bathroom. We added, when they reevaluated it, it was about $115,000 more than what we paid for it. So,
Wow.
yeah, huge investment return on that one.
Definitely.
So, we refinanced, got the cash advance.
Mhm.
We're paying off pretty much about 90% of our debt. So, school
Nice.
loan, credit cards. The only thing that we're going to have is the mortgage and I think like 1 or 2 low payment vehicle payments.
Nice.
And we're still getting like 25 grand cash back after all that shit's paid off.
Nice.
So, and the crazy part is we dropped our interest rate by almost an entire whole percent, and we went from $650 a month mortgage to about $805 a month mortgage. So
okay.
get all that stuff, and we only add, less than $200 a month payment. But
That's
we're
not too
saving
shabby.
about $5 grand a month on all the other crap that we were losing, interest and everything.
Yeah, dude, that sounds freaking awesome.
But we're getting that tomorrow. So we've been looking at some stuff to kind of get going on doing the websites and whatnot. So
Right. You know what you could do is you guys got a Best Buy where you're at, right?
yeah,
What you could do is you could swing by Best Buy because they have the ability to find alternative solutions for you.
Mhm.
So the one that I'm working off of was priced at $2,500, $2,600, and they found, or the one I was looking at was priced that way, and the one that I'm working on is about $1,900 and has the same specs.
Nice.
So they were able to check in their system and find that for me.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
So right. So
Yeah,
they had to. That might be something you could look into as well. Once you define which direction you're going to go,
right.
you can go talk to them and see what they'll do to help you get that a little further. Because if your guys are anything like my guys, you're going to be golden, dude. You're going to at least save $500.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's what we figured we'd probably go to Best Buy anyway.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because they get day in and day out. Whew.
No worries.
Okay, well I gotta get going. I just pulled
All right,
over
man.
for a couple minutes on the drive home, so gotta get
No
home
worries,
with
man.
babysitter to go home.
Yeah, man. No worries.
But nice chatting with you, man.
Definitely. Thanks
Nice
for
to put a
hopping in.
face to the cat.
Yeah.
Yeah, you too.
Yeah.
Thanks, man.
All
Now
right.
let's see if I can figure out how to get out of this thing.
Yeah, I'll
See ya.
kick you out. Later. Alrighty. Well, for those who don't know, that was Lane's Life, the third. Awesome, dude. So, we got about 8 minutes left before I have to hop off of here for another call, one where I'm teaching people how to code. Yay. It's not a big deal. But if no one has any other questions, then I guess I might just hop off early. But for everyone out there, if you're catching this live or you're catching this on the replay, start thinking about what kind of questions you have for these specific topics, because you could post your questions directly on the live on Thursdays when I do the lesson. And you can also hop in here on Mondays and do the same thing. And so that's where the whole premise of Mondays is to actually discuss, figure out what your ideas are, bring them into the call on Mondays, so that way we can discuss. And if you're missing a piece of the puzzle, I'll help you find that piece of the puzzle, right? And the whole premise behind that is to open your eyes, right? A lot of people out there get laser focused on a topic, or get laser focused on their business. When you're standing too close to something, your vision's blurry on what's in front of you, and you can't really see it. And it's because of that you have to actually take a step back so you can focus and see what you're supposed to be seeing. And that's what we're trying to do here, is to have you guys step back from your business, to let your eyes focus on what's going on, so that we can then go back in and fix whatever needs to be fixed. All right. Well, no one is hopped on yet. Not a big deal. No other comments in the Digital Foundations group here. So guess I'll just call it a day. So if you guys have any other questions, comments, concerns, complaints, you hate that I cuss, fuck it, whatever. I'm not going to change me for anybody. So, oh well. But if you have any serious questions, any legitimate business questions and whatnot, just throw them in the chat here, or put a new post out in the group. I'm not the only one in here. There's lots of other people, especially in the digital space, that are part of this group as well. And so any one of them can hop in, and they can help facilitate an answer to your question as well. So that's all I have for today, guys. Until next time, this is Jared. Take it easy. See you guys later.